it means Pastor Chinko. Now my name, maybe your name, the guy saying, I know you need it. Keep listening to them. Are you at the last day?
It's getting serious on this track, fam.
And thank you for still staying with us on Alore Radio of the GSM studio, transmitting live from the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. And now you are on to newspaper review. I am Taiwo Olanio. Thank you very much for joining us.
And I'm Temitope Ojawo. You're welcome this morning. You can also log on to Facebook account www.facebook.com/Alore Radio. We're also on YouTube Alore Radio, and our website remains www.com.aloreradio.com. One of our mobile apps is available on Play Store. Welcome to today's edition of your favorite program, Newspaper Review. Once again, I'm Temitope Ojawo. With me is Nigerian Tribune.
And I have with me the Nation newspaper.
My leading story at the front page of Nigerian Tribune this morning says, not all governors against the direct primary, Zenith precedents.
And a very striking story from the Nation newspaper reads, why APC can't hold national convention now, and party to conclude congresses in 4 states. And another writer says, Buhari and governors settle for February. This is coming from Buni. Details coming shortly.
Senate uncovers 16 billion naira tucked in 2022 budget. Also at the front page of Nigerian Tribune, we have killing of citizens on Abuja-Kaduna Expressway by bandits and national shame.
Lagos #NSAS panel report controversy rages. It also have a couple of riders that reads, witness attacked with machetes. Senior advocates of Nigeria alleges threat to life. And presidency, federal government won't act on all parts of this report. Details also on page 4, 13, 14, 15, and 16.
And on APC National Convention, Buhari hawkers February for APC National Convention. And we have a sad story on the front page of Nigerian Tribune. Veteran actor Babasiwo dies at 63.
WAEC jacks up exam fees to 18,000 naira. Details on page 6 as 81.7% credits recorded in the last exam.
And also at page 4 of Nigerian Tribune, absence of Yoruba interpreters stores a remains of Igbo's aides.
Panel on Ikoyi building collapse 6 memoranda. Details on page 27.
Court strikeout case against 29 years old over tweets against Buhari on page 29 of Nigerian Tribune.
And also from the Nation newspaper, Oyetola releases 708 million naira for pensioners. NSAS panel, government lawyers will pay more than the bereaved. Falana with a rather NSAS protester who testified before Lagos panel attack cancer claim. Also, all government responsible if anything happens to me at Degboroa. On the case of the OAU students, family demands probe of hotel chairman's video and says disregard call to ignore Oduduwa University. Details on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. On page 27 is the story of OAU postgraduate student autopsy conductor results out in 3 weeks, and also on Ikoyi collapse building. Tribunal gives deadline for submission of memoranda on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, we'll go on a quick break now to return with the details of the story. Don't forget you can join us on every of our social media panel. Join us on our website at www.aloreradio.com for more information. Don't go away, you're still on to newspaper review.
àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀. ẹ lẹ́ bàbá àdìo ẹ wo aṣọ ọ̀gbẹ́yẹlé nìkan mọ́ nísìn ẹlẹ́yẹlé gan-an làṣà ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ojú òní ìmọ̀ wa rí yín fún. ṣé ẹ rí i nígbà tí ìjọba kọ̀ tí ó sọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ọ̀dọ́ ti ṣaṣara bàgbó pé kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ́ bí ó kù lágbègbè wa ni wọ́n bá níjọba sọ pé kámúríwá ká fọrùn lẹ̀.
tá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àdìo ìwọ náà sì tún pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ jáwúra ní bí wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tíjọba àpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ń sọ ni pé a lè fi nǹkan tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ṣàtúnṣe nǹkan tí ò dáa ó dáa àdìo láti gbẹ̀ tí wàá dẹ̀hùn ṣé eégún kan ti wá yọrẹ ránṣẹ́ sí babaláwo yín bí.
rárá o bàbá.
ní nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé kẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ́ tó fọn níjọba ti yàwó tùlù fún ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò àmọ̀tẹ́kùn pé kí wọ́n fi tọ̀gbẹ́ tààlà láti lé gbogbo àwọn ẹni ibi jáde ní kọ̀lọ̀fín wọn. bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣètò ọlọ́pàá scotland ibi fáàbò gbogbo wa nípìnlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ náà ni. ṣèjọba tó wá ṣe yùn ní òwà rẹ̀ nìràn lẹ́rù ní òtún mọ́ ọkọ̀ fẹ́ bí.
ọ̀rọ̀ yín yé mi bàbá àmọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ ní táwọn èèyàn mọ̀ wíìkì.
àwọn ará bíi ti tòṣèlú bọ̀ ọ́nù nígbà àtàkùté wọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta òré ó rí wọn lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára táwọn ti ròyìn òfegè ní ibi láti sọ̀jọba gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ní súná bú ni.
bàbá kí là á wàá ṣe ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pọ́nrọ̀ sọkúsọ bíi náà nú ẹ̀rọ ni.
ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ tẹ́ ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dénú náà ni kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún gbogbo òlù pé orí ìpinnu àṣà ò gbọdọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dúró lé.
ó ti yé mi bàbá mo sì ń lọ rìn fọ rere rẹ̀ náà nù. iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà òun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
You're welcome back. You still on Hello Radio, transmitted from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Agodi Ibadan. We're now on to the details of the headline. Ikoyi Kolas Building Tribunal gave deadline for submission of memoranda. The Lagos State Tribunal of Inquiry set up to unravel the immediate and remote causes of the collapsed 21-story building at Gerard Road in Ikoyi on Monday gave Wednesday, November 24 as deadline for the submission of memoranda by members of the public and relevant stakeholders. This was just as the tribunal disclosed that it had received documents from some government MDAs which it is currently studying, adding that it had also interviewed some of the Lagos government staff in the relevant MDAs. The chairman of the panel, Toyin Ayinde, gave the ultimatum during a press conference which took place at Lasua Terminal Office, Ikoyi, where the six-man team is conducting the assessment. Ikoyi Collapse Building Tribunal gave deadline for submission of memoranda. Get the rest of the story on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune.
And from the front page of the Nation newspaper, the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) yesterday explained why it can no longer organize its national convention before the end of the year. The party attributed the postponement of the exercise till February next year to protracted crisis in Anambra, Zamfara, and other state capitals, logistic challenges, preparation by Christians for Christmas, and proposed governorship election in Ekiti State. The chairman of the National Caretaker Committee, Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Boni, said there was also the need to concede to President Muhammadu Buhari the honor of picking a date for the convention following consultations with party stakeholders. A tripartite meeting of the President's Progressive Governors Forum, led by Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu and National Caretaker Committee, took place yesterday in Aso Villa to discuss the convention. However, after the meeting, the party resolved to hold the exercise in February 2021, although it was not specific on a particular date. Details also on page 4 of the Nation newspaper.
Turn to page 8 of Nigerian Tribune for a story on WAEC. WAEC increases exam fee to 18,000 naira, released 2021 major WASC result. The West African Examination Council has increased the registration fee for its West African Senior Certificate Examination WASC for both the school-based May, June, and 2 other editions for private candidates from 13,950 to 18,000 naira per candidate, blaming each operational cost due to COVID-19 and high inflation for the development. The increase takes effect with the current SS3 students who will be sitting for the examination next year. The organization has also released the results of candidates who sat this year's edition of the exam, presenting 81.7% of candidates with pass mark in mandatory 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. It has also made provision for the candidates in the southeast whose examination were disrupted by people suspected to be forcing the stay-at-home order to wreck the papers concerning the private candidates for the ongoing field exam. You can get the rest of the story on page 8 of Nigerian Tribune. WAEC increases exam fee to 80,000 naira, releases 2021 major WASC results.
Okay, there's also a report of the news story on the page 6 of the Nation newspaper as WAEC jacks up fee and council also releases the 2021 results. And also from NSS panel, the controversy over the report of the Lagos State Panel of Inquiry on restitution of victims of SARS-related abuses and other related matters waged yesterday with a witness, Kamayo Suchuku Ibe, claiming that he was attacked with machetes. A member of the panel, Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, also alleged the threat to his life because of the controversy reports. And nearly after 1 year that it was inaugurated, the Lagos State Panel of Inquiry on NSAS on November 15 submitted a consolidated report on cases of police brutality and another on the Lekki incident to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Sanwo-Olu set up a 4-man committee to examine it within 2 weeks and bring forward the white paper that would be considered at the Lagos State Executive Council and presented as the white paper coming from the panel of inquiry, as after a purported version of the 309-page document was leaked. It was found to be ridden with errors and inconsistencies, following varied reactions and criticisms by many analysts, including the state's lawyer Abiodun Owonikoko, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and Kayode Enito, also Senior Advocate of Nigeria, amongst others. 2 of the panel members, Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and Temitope Majekodumi, have been forced to defend the panel's integrity and work. It looks like there are many sides to the confusion, and reports and reporters are working on it to trail the controversy on the NSAS panel in Lagos State. The rest of the story can be found on page 14, 15, 16, and 21 of the Nation newspaper.
On page 22 of Nigerian Tribune Direct Primary, we expect Buhari to sign Electoral Act Amendment Bill, Senate President. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, on Monday declared that the National Assembly expects President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the Amendment Electoral Act 2021 transmitted to him last Friday. Lawan assertion comes against the backdrop of perceived reservation of governors against the direct primary clause in the bill. According to the Senate President, the All Progressive Congress APC governors who are not happy with the direct primary provision should engage with the lawmakers and other political stakeholders. Speaking to the correspondent after a meeting at the Presidential Field Abuja, Lawan said it is not meant to have disagreements, but engaging with others will minimize them. The Senate President expressed the hope that the President Buhari will assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, saying in a quote, "What can I say to you is among other things, because that is not the only thing among other things we have discussed." Quoted further and said, "My opinion is National Assembly has done its work and members of the National Assembly have expressed themselves. This is the majority view and it's for Mr. President to look at it, and of course the expectation of National Assembly is get the presidential assent." End of quote. Direct Premier, we expect Buhari to sign Electoral Act Amendment Bill, Senate President.
There was a strange 16 billion naira vote in the 2022 budget estimate of the Ministry of Environment. The Chairman Senate Committee on the Environment, Ike Ekweremadu, claimed yesterday. The senators had told reporters that a similar discovery was made in the ministry's budget for the outgoing year. Ekweremadu spoke after he submitted the budget estimate of the ministry to the Senate Committee on Appropriation in Abuja. He said, "Last year, as I said, there was 6 billion naira in the environment's budget for the servicing of a multilateral loan regarding erosion control. Regrettably, about 1.5 billion naira of it was released to environment, and later the Ministry of Finance wrote, saying it was a mistake that was supposed to be from the service-wide votes." And the federal government yesterday said it would not interfere with reports from that, but I guess there's review going on the 16 billion naira hidden votes found in the environmental ministry's budgets. Details also on page 4.
Buhari okay's February 2024 APC convention. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved February 2020 for the conduct of the National Convention of the All Progressive Congress APC. This followed a meeting he had with some of the governors of the party, led by Chairman of APC National Caretaker Committee and Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni. With him were his Kebbi and Jigawa State counterpart Atiku Bagodo, who is the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum (PGF), and Abubakar Badaro, respectively. Speaking to a correspondent after the meeting, which took place in the president's office at the presidential field Abuja, Bagudu affirmed that the meeting was to convey the decision of Sunday night's meeting of the Progressive Governors Forum to the president. He said the governor resolved that the convention should hold in February and suggested that the president should approve the date. Bagudu informed the President Buhari as approved, noting that the National Caretaker Committee will not work out detail. Asked whether a specific date had been suggested to the president in February, Buni said not yet, as he noted that a timetable had not to be worked on, while the Independent National Electoral Committee (INEC) will also be notified. Get the rest of the J's Tom picture referring of Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, a very short story here, especially for the theatre practitioners in Nigeria, as Nollywood veteran comedian Baba Suwe kicks the bucket at age 63. Nigerians expressed shock and grief yesterday as popular Nollywood actor and comedian Babatunde Omidino, aka Baba Suwe, died. The actor died after battling illness for over 2 years. He was 63. Baba Suwe's death was announced by one of his daughters, Adeshola Omidino, that says this is to announce the sudden death of her father, Babatunde Omidino. The legend, Regem, and Baba Suwe died on the 22nd of November 2021. Details and other arrangements will be announced shortly, she said. Baba Suwe is popular for his comic roles in many Nollywood films and television productions between the 80s and the mid-90s. The actor and film producer became famous for his TV series Erin Keke, which had Yoruba as the language of communication. The series made waves on NTA Channel 7 in the 90s and featured popular film stars like Okwebe, Madam Shaje, Suwe, Emuke, and others until it stopped airing in 1996. The veteran actor made an impact on the home video scene by appearing in several movies and later producing over 10 under his Enrique imprint and late Babs Omidino production. His fame continued to grow after he featured in Olaya Igwe's movie titled Irueshi in 1997. He also worked with major movie producers and marketers including Bayowa Films and Corporate Production. Some of his memorable works include Baba Larin Lodru, Baba Jaye Jaye, Ojabokofo, and Elebolo. He fell ill in 2018 and his health deteriorated until 2019 when several Nigerians including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo donated funds for his medical treatment abroad. I pray that his soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
I could remember seeing a couple of his movies too, and he's really a comedian. And I pray that the Lord will comfort
A born
him and
comedian.
and his family so much.
Yeah, the Nollywood group will miss him a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Killings on Abuja Kaduna Highway by bandits in national shame is held. An apex socio-cultural organization, Arawa Consultative Forum, is held, has lamented over the continuous killing of innocent citizens on the Abuja Kaduna Highway by terrorists, saying that it is a national shame. Reacted to the recent attack by bandits on the road, which led to the kidnap of many Nigerians and murder of the Samvera State governorship aspirant, Alhaji Amida Segar, the Forum National Publicity Secretary Emmanuel Yahweh expressed concern that the Nigerians on a daily basis are being terrorized, kidnapped, and killed on the road. The forum said that the continuous killing of Nigerians on the highway is a national shame and is unacceptable to all relevant stakeholders that mean well for the nation. He said the latest victims of this act is the Director of Protocol in the Federal Capital Development Authority (FCDA) and a governorship aspirant in several states who was caught at Rejama. The statement he noted. Killing on Abuja Kaduna Highway by bandits in national shame, says AC Health.
And on page 27 of the Nation newspaper, Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola yesterday released 708 million naira to pay pensions of retirees. A statement by the head of service, Dr. Festus Oyebade, said the current administration was committed to people's welfare, adding that a breakdown of the fund released indicates that 508 million naira was approved to pay pensions of retired civil servants under the old pension scheme, while 150 million naira was approved to pay selected retirees based on merit under the contributory pension scheme. He noted that 50 million naira would be used to offset part of the gratuities of retired officers under the old pension scheme. The rest of that story is on page 27 of the Nation newspaper.
And also on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune. Enters panic, government lawyers weeping more than the beret. Falana. Lagos lawyer Mr. Femi Falana said that the government lawyers who are trying to dispute the report of the panel on answers, particularly the Lekki show team, are obviously weeping more than the beret. In a lengthy opening on Monday night, Falana said lawyers to the state government at the panel, Jelili Owonikoko and Kayode Nito, both senior advocates, have consistently spoken against the report, seeking to doubt its relevance on the basis of alleged inaccuracies. He claimed the fact the lawyers were trying to dispute and are not being acknowledged by the governor himself. The Lekki Consortium Company Limited, an agency of the Lagos State government, which later disabled the CCTV camera at the Lekki toll gate, which captured the tragic incident of the night in question, had issued a press statement to condemn the mental killing of the protesters. A copy of the press statement was tendered and admitted in evidence during the proceeding. In any case, the controversy surrounding the findings of the commission is censored a round number of the protesters who were killed and not the killing did not occur. But it is on record that a few hours after the incident, Governor Sanwo-Olu had disclosed that 2 people were killed at the Lekki toll gate. This disclosure was made after the governor had visited several injured people who were then receiving state treatment in some hospital. Get the rest of that story on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune.
And also, foremost constitutional lawyer Chief Wole Olanipekun, senior advocate of Nigeria, has appealed to the federal government to honor the agreements reached with the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU in 2020 to avert another round of strike. He said the country cannot afford to experience another nationwide strike barely a few months after the universities that were closed for half a year due to COVID-19 pandemic were reopened for academic activities. ASU, through its national board last week, threatened to embark on another nationwide strike if the federal government reneged on the agreement reached with the lecturers in 2020. Olanipekun, speaking in Ikere-Ekiti at the 25th edition of the annual Chief Wole Olanipekun Scholarship Scheme, warned against the grave implications of shutting down universities in Nigeria. He said 134 students comprising 50 Ikere undergraduates, 50 secondary school students, 5 law school students, and 29 indigents, who are also undergraduates of the universities across the country, has also benefited from the 2021 edition scheme proposed by Chief Wole Olanipekun, senior advocate of Nigeria, as he pleads to federal government to honor agreements with the Academic Staff Union of Universities to avert another round of strike. I even joined their voice. May we not see such again.
May the Lord intervene. I'm still on page 27 of Nigeria Tribune with the story of OAU postgraduate student autopsy. Autopsy conducted, results ready in 3 weeks. Autopsy on the remains of the Timothy Adegoke, the postgraduate student of Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, Osun State, was on Monday conducted at the Union Teaching Hospital Complex, Osogbo. The exercise, which began at about 2:30 p.m., ended at about 6:30 p.m. with family members, lawyers, and pathologists from both sides adequately represented. Outsiders were not allowed into the inner room where the exercise was conducted, except the medical expert and family representative of the deceased. However, before the commencement of the exercise, the body of the deceased was brought out for family members to identify, while thorough assessment was carried out on it before it was taken for autopsy. Speaking with nursemen at the hospital, Dr. Wahida Komu Oluogun, a consultant pathologist at the hospital, assured that there will not be any bias in the report. The consultant stated that the process of the autopsy will take about 2 hours, said within 2 or 3 weeks, the result will be released to the police. He added that it is the police that will announce the results officially. Also, one of the counsel for the deceased family, Mr. Nahim Adekileko, confirmed that the exercise started about 2:30 p.m. and ended at 6:30 p.m. While addressing newsmen, the counsel called on the police to use this case as another litmus test in its bid to restore the confidence of Nigeria in its ability to unravel crimes, no matter how the perpetrator think they have covered the tracks. Get the rest of that story on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune.
Moving on to Sports Corner this morning, NFF and Rob BK over the 6-month salary payoff. The Super Eagles coach General would expressively reject a proposed 6-month payoff being put together by the Nigerian Football Federation in the bid to terminate the contract of the German coach. Relationship between the former Bordeaux coach and NFF broke down irrevocably last week following the Super Eagles' listless 1-1 draw against Cape Verde in the final second round Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifier at the Teslim Balogun in Lagos. Though Nigeria did not progress to the final round playoff, there have been several calls from both the public of the press for the sacking of the former Bayern Munich defender. The rest of that story is on page 31 of the Nation newspaper.
Let me quickly add to that sports story. Dennis makes BBC pundit COTW. Former Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur striker, some BBC pundit, Gert Krog has related his Premier League team of the week, with Watford star Emmanuel Dennis making the cut as expected. And with that, we're going to end to this edition of the newspaper review. Join us the same time tomorrow. Hi, I'm Temitope Ojawo. I say bye for today.
And I am Taiwo Olanio. Thank you very much for joining, and do join our colleagues again tomorrow for another edition of Newspaper Review. Have a great day.
àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀. ẹ lẹ́ bàbá àdìo ẹ wo aṣọ ọ̀gbẹ́yẹlé nìkan mọ́ nísìn ẹlẹ́yẹlé gan-an làṣà ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ojú òní ìmọ̀ wa rí yín fún. ṣé ẹ rí i nígbà tí ìjọba kọ̀ tí ó sọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ọ̀dọ́ ti ṣaṣara bàgbó pé kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ́ bí ó kù lágbègbè wa ni wọ́n bá níjọba sọ pé kámórí wá ká fọrùn lẹ̀.
tá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àdìo ìwọ náà sì tún wù ní.
bàbá kí làá wàá ṣe ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pọ́nrọ̀ sọkúsọ bíi náà nú ẹ̀rùn ni.
ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ tẹ́ ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dénú náà ni kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún gbogbo òlù pé orí ìpinnu àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dúró lé.
ó ti yé mi bàbá mo sì ń lọ rìn fọrẹ́rẹ́ rẹ̀ náà nù. iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà òun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kábíni sínú ọlọ́lá kò pé kéèyàn ó lọ́lá ká tọ́ni dàgbà nílé olókìkí kò pé káyé ó mọ̀nìyàn ṣùgbọ́n bí orí bá ti gbéni là á pè nílé àyànmọ́ èyí ló bí àkànṣe ètò tí a pè ní ipa tèmi fún ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tí yóò máa dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín níkànnì Alóore rédíò níbi tí arábìnrin Yétúndé Fádípẹ̀ Ọládépò yóò ti máa gbàlejò àwọn tí wọ́n ti làmìlaka nínú iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yàn láàyò iṣẹ́ ìjọba òṣèlú okòwò bí wọ́n ṣe gòkè àti àwọn ohun tí wọ́n fi kó ìjọba lọ́wọ́ lórí àwọn nǹkan kò ṣe má ní ládùúgbò tàbí àyíká ibi tí wọ́n tẹ̀dó sí láti mú ìdàgbàsókè tó lóòrìn bá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ipa tèmi fún ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ lórí Alóore rédíò ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun aago 3 ọ̀sán títí di 4 gbẹ̀rẹ́ ẹ fi èrò yín àti àwọn ohun tí ó fẹ́ àtúnṣe ní agbègbè yín ránṣẹ́ sórí ètò lórí ìtàkùn àgbáyé www.aloreradio.com tàbí ìtàkùn ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ Facebook Alóore rédíò ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló jẹ wá lógún.
ọgbà tí àṣejìnà lòdì òròjé làwọn aláṣejòkó tí wọ́n fẹ́ máa jẹ ọba ni wọ́n ṣe gàyà díẹ̀ ná ìlú ló láṣẹ ẹjẹ́ ìlú ó jẹun náà ìdí nìyí tó fi jẹ́ pé ẹ̀tọ́ ìlú là ń fowó ìlú ṣe nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ̀rí bí ní ètò ẹ̀kọ́ wa ṣe ń jògeere LAUTECH ti di tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé bíi 40 ló ti wẹ̀wọ̀ ọ̀tún pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tòun àti irinṣẹ́ tó kójú owó iṣẹ́ sì ti fẹ́ẹ̀ parí pẹ̀lú lórí 100 míì jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ààbò tó dájú òun ohun amáyédẹrùn ní ìṣokùnfà ìdásílẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá láwùjọ òun náà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fi wà nípò kẹta nínú àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí ń pawó wọlé jùlọ lábẹ́lé nílẹ̀ wa ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ ló ti láǹfààní ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà ti gbàlódé táṣeyọrí yóò sì jẹ́ kó ń jẹ́ sùn wá bọ̀ láìpẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ń gbowó wọn lásìkò pápá àṣírí Adámàsìngbà àtàwọn inú ojú pópó tí ń sòrú dọ̀sán kọ́ àwọn ìlú ti sọ pásì ìwádùn níṣèjọba yìí fi ń mọrírì gbogbo àwọn aláṣẹ gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ló ń sọ fún wa pé pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan wa oòrùn tó kù lókè yìí ó táṣọ ọgbẹ.
Ilé iṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.